Go, Sammy's picking. Yay.
I'm gonna pick this girl over here who's standing next to the wall.
Actually, I have 2 questions.
But you can only have one. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, look, it's
How hard is it to get into voice acting?
It's extremely difficult to get into this business. When a lot of us started, you guys, anime was nothing but a quirky little subculture of people that, you know what I mean? It was very small and did not have anywhere near the kind of recognition that it's gotten over the last 7 years or so. When we started, I mean, 10, 12 years ago, none of us ever expected that it would grow into what it did. And we were all doing different things, and every once in a while there would be this weird little thing called an anime convention, and we would go, but it was nowhere near as big as it is now. So back then, when we started, we just walked in and auditioned and got cast or didn't get cast. But over the years, as it has grown so much, more and more people want to get into it. To the point where I remember a few years ago, ADV had an open audition where they would let people call and get on a list to come in and just audition for a general audition to see if basically you had what it takes to do this. And Funimation does that as well sometimes. But they had a couple of years ago, they had a waiting list 2 years long.
actually,
And that was just to try out. That wasn't like to be in it in 2 years. It was to try.
That wasn't even for a show.
Right. So
the same thing. I think this year their list was compiled. And they could not. They had to take 40 people in, and there were like 2,000 or 2,000 on the list, and they could only take 40 in.
Here's another thing that is changing with that. And I don't know if you're aware of it, Vic. Now, I know at ADV, and I'm not sure at Funimation, so I'm not talking to anybody there. Now, the first thing they ask when somebody calls about the open call audition is how much acting experience have you had, and have you had any training? Have you had any training as an actor? Because that you know, and we've said it before in panels, that's the bottom line.
I do want to add something because your question points to something that I feel really strongly about right now. We realize that's why we're all sitting here. That's why I woke up at 10 o'clock this morning, because I'm allergic to that time. We all realize that this is a really important thing to anime fans, and I also realize that a lot of people want to become voice actors. There are people now that see fans as nothing more than a way to make money, and that's why we're sitting here. We're giving you the information that we have. Don't trust somebody that wants to sell you a book or a class at a convention. You can't learn anything overnight that is going to make you an anime voice actor. And if you want acting training, go to somebody that makes a living training people to be actors, not the voice of your favorite character. And there are people, it seems silly, but there are people right now that are going to convention to convention to convention selling pamphlets and books on how to be a voice actor. And you can't, that's like reading a book about being a good race car driver. You know, like, you have to have practical on-hand experience, and we didn't get here the easy way. We did stage work, commercial work, film work. We all did those things. So I really, more than anything, I don't want anybody ripping you guys off. No. I want your money to be spent on cool things like video games and stuff like that, you know? And if you want acting lessons, go somewhere that's reputable and find a good acting instructor and a good voice coach and get those things and become a good actor.
It's kind of like Greg said, all the voice actors that I know in the industry, none of us set out to be voice actors. Every one of us set out to be actors. That's where our passion lay. And if that is acting on stage, if that is acting on film, if that is acting on television, or voice acting, we are all actors first. And you know, that's where a lot of people think, oh, well, that's all they like to do is voicing. No, I love stage. I'm a stage geek, so.
I agree with you.
And you know what else, you guys? You probably know this, but I'll just go ahead and say it. There are only a few places in the world where voice acting can be done. Los Angeles, Houston, Dallas, Vancouver, maybe a little bit in New York, a little bit, North Carolina, a little bit. But the point is, you could be the greatest voice actor ever created by God, but if you live in Kentucky, chances are you're probably not going to get many opportunities to voice act. So you have to be where the work is done. And a lot of people, like Greg said, a lot of people think that, oh, well, I can make funny voices, so I should be a voice actor. No, none of us got into voice acting because we could make funny voices. We got into it because we had spent years acting. Stage, television, any opportunity. School plays, community theater, church programs, any place we could act. And it was literally just a fortunate gift to have fallen into voice acting. It was just another chance to act with a different set of tools and skills. But acting is the key, and if you guys want to be voice actors, you need to start sharpening your skills as an actor first and foremost. Because of all the hundreds of voice actors we know, I can count on one hand the number that don't have a massive amount of acting experience behind them.
Really? Yeah. It's only a couple.
Yeah. Another question. Somebody pick. I don't pick you.
I'll pick you. Pikachu.
Down.
Way down.
Down drastically. Down. In fact, that's why Best Buy has removed anime completely from 19% of its stores.
Yeah.
And they're cutting back the amount of anime that they... And I'm not even a fan of what Best Buy does with anime. Because they don't carry any old anime. They only carry brand new titles. So like you can't get Ping Pong Club or Boogie Pop Phantom or His and Her Circumstance or anything like that. But they're not only taking it out of 19, or it is already out of 19% of their stores, but they're scaling the section back at least a good 40%.
I don't want to be the mommy bird here again, but
What?
part of the reason.
Hang on.
Well,
I'm
you
sorry.
said they're too expensive anyway, and I'm about to go there.
Oh, go there. Please go there.
This is part of the problem. You guys don't have any patience. I mean, seriously. I mean, you want this product to be here. It takes time to produce it. You want it instantaneously in real time in Japanese, so you can't get it, so you download it illegally. We know you do it, and this won't be here for a while. In less than probably 2 years, the industry won't even be here because you can't wait.
Well, and Wendy brought up another point. Funimation worked very hard to bring something to American anime fans that has never been done before. They've been releasing One Piece episodes subtitled the day after they air on television in Japan. And what happened a few months ago, probably y'all have all read this, someone hacked their website and made that episode available before it was available on Japanese television. So that's why.
Security. All of us had to have our laptops confiscated. And,
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't have to. I wasn't there then.
Because somebody went in and hacked and stole that episode.
And the problem is, someone doing that, someone who thinks that's cute and thinks they've closed the pool, so to speak, ruins it for us to be able to have things like that. And the really sad thing is, Funimation worked really hard to get that for fans. They were like, look, this is what fans have been saying they wanted all this time. And I know it's always one jackass that spoils it for everybody, but that's the kind of things that we face in this situation. And of course the Japanese didn't think that was funny at all.
And there's so many hands that touch this product before it ever gets to that shelf. That I understand that it's expensive, but if you understood how many hours and hours, countless hundreds of hours go into that.
But Wendy, it's like it's
I got you.
Yeah, well, and it's like Greg said, anime right now, and Greg says this in his panel, is more affordable than it has ever been
Oh my
in the
God.
history of anime.
It's the cheapest I've ever paid for it in years.
Yeah.
Like, how many old school fans, guys, old school fans, how many of us used to pay $70 or $80 for an OVA?
90?
Yeah, easy. So like when some kid, I hate to sound like an old guy, but when some kid whines about $19 for 6 episodes, I kind of want to giggle a little bit.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that I've been doing for the past like year and a half is I've been trying to produce original anime content, and heavens to Betsy, it's like one of the first things that I had to tackle is sitting there trying to figure out ways of making a product, but at the same time protecting the product.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out ways with the Japanese on how to come out with this product so that way it doesn't go on to the